Their mouths are moving, and you see them speaking, "Hello, Deathstalker. We gotta save the world." And he like had one head like this and one head like that, and it's stupid, but I just love stuff like that. Hello, this is Robert Shum, and here's my movie review for Deathstalker, directed by Steven Kostanski and starring Daniel Bernhardt. But before I talk about this film, I just want to share my love for sword and sorcery movies and barbarian films like Conan the Barbarian or anything within that genre, be it cartoons like He-Man, The Masters of the Universe, and Thundar, as well as all these other movies that are within the barbarian themes like Beastmaster, Krull, Sword and Sorcerer, as well as the really campy, straight to video B movies like The Barbarian Twins, A Tor, The Fighting Eagle, and Deathstalker, but mostly Deathstalker 2. And yeah, I really love Deathstalker 2 because it was just so campy and so goofy, but it had so much heart, and I just had fun watching films like that. So when I found out that Steven Kostanski did his Kickstarter to raise funds to make a new Deathstalker film, I was totally on board. And now that I finally had a chance to watch this movie, the first impressions I have is that this film met my expectations. It's definitely a love letter to all the movies I just mentioned. The story is simple and to the point, where it's about Deathstalker. He finds this artifact, and once he gets his hands on this thing, it leads him to just traveling across the land and meeting new allies and enemies throughout his adventure that leads him to fighting the ultimate evil and saving the world. It's a very basic story, but the journey of it is what made it so fun. Now, before I continue talking about this film, there are some things I want to share that are negatives for me on the film. So, granted, this film is campy and there's a lot of silliness and goofiness going around, but there were just some jokes that just didn't land with me. And because of those jokes, they were just like too campy for me to a point where it just threw me out of the film, and it just really killed it for me. So that's one thing. The other negative I have with this film is that since this movie has so much world building, there was this one scene that where they were doing a lot of exposition. It was in the swamp. There was so much exposition in that scene that it just threw me off of what they were trying to do. I just wish the movie took more time to explain what was happening so that I can like just follow along. But beyond those things, everything else was like just so much fun to watch. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but the movie is very low budget and it's gory as hell. Like there's just so much gore in it. Like it's so bloody that you can literally see the red corn syrup oozing all over the prosthetics and everything. Speaking of fun, that's the word I'm constantly saying throughout the rest of my review of this film because that's all it was. It was just so much fun to watch. It's so campy. I'll give you an example of some of the campy things they did. Like, for example, one of the characters, his name is Doodad. The whole thing about it is that it's a little person wearing like a prosthetics to make her look like a goblin. And when she's moving her mouth, you hear the voice of Patton Oswalt. And it cracks me up because it's almost like watching a badly dubbed foreign film where their mouths are moving and you see them speaking English. It's like, "Hello, Deathstalker. We gotta save the world and use this magic spell." It's just it's crap. It's campy as hell. It's crap. It's so badly done. But I love films that do that. There's another campy scene where Deathstalker was fighting and he has to throw somebody. Like instead of throwing a real person, what he did was they made him throw like a dummy, right? And then when you see the dummy get thrown and he falls into the rock and he fully disappears, all of a sudden you'll see the actor just walk up and say, "Oh my god, what's going on?" It's stupid, but I just love stuff like that. Like that's some of the things that makes me have fun watching a film. The other things that made me just enjoy it was that it just they just referencing a lot of my favorite things growing up watching like toys and like for example there's these bad guys and one of them reminds me of this Masters of the Universe character it was like a stone monster and whenever certain things happen his face will move but the way his face would literally move exactly like this toy and where he'll look at you and all of a sudden his face will turn and once his face turns to this he means business. I was just dying laughing seeing that character in action and stuff. But That's the other thing that I really liked about this film is that they had all these monsters and they're all practical effects and they're all these guys in rubber suits. So when you see the monsters like talk and emote, it's like very just basic puppetry. Like there's a two-headed monster that showed up and he like had one head like this and one head like that. And although the puppetry is just very like low budget and campy, I just can't deny seeing so much heart applied into it with all the little puppets and everything. Where you see all these puppets show up and you're like, it's crappy, but you suspend yourself disbelief and just have fun watching it. So, with all that said, the rating I give this film from a scale to 1 to 10 is an 8. I want to give it a higher score, but some of the negatives I've expressed really threw me off the film. But regardless of that, I had so much fun watching this film. I highly recommend it for anyone who just loves watching films about sword and sorcery or just a fun adventure and just enjoy the campiness and all the low budget special effects. That's just, regardless of all that, the movie has so much heart and you can literally just see it when you watch it. And that's something I can't express beyond anything else. So thank you for watching this movie review, and feel free to share and subscribe and just comment about your thoughts about this film, what you like and dislike about it. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Take care and be well. So there's this next scene. He's like in a bar, and for some reason, this guy's like asking, "Who is this guy?" And Deathstalker's like saying, "Really? You don't know who I am?"
I mean,
and it, I know you didn't know who he was, right? So basically, that's you right there. So he's like, seriously, you don't know who I am? And in the next part of the trailer, the whole scene explodes into fire, showing off his name.
wow.
The monster's like saying, "Hey, can you lend me a hand?" And Deathstalker saying, "Hey, I'll take yours."
Wow, you've come prepared with jokes for this one, haven't you?
Exactly, dude. I was so excited to show this trailer, man. Like, I'm having so much fun watching it, so I'm trying to like project how much fun I'm having with it. So right here we got that girl, and she's like doing her impersonation of Wolverine.
Okay.